Hey, Natalia, how are you?
Hi, Adam. Hi,
You ready for
everyone.
the week? We've got a big group here ready for the weekly holiday edition of the webinar. Are you ready?
Yes, absolutely.
Everyone gets very excited when you are the panelist. They don't get as excited for Joe. How was your first Christmas for you and your daughter and your family there in South Florida with palm trees and iguanas?
That's a good question because we escaped from Florida.
Oh, you did? Did you get away?
Yeah, we decided to have a little bit of snow time for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, hey, let's get right into it. I know we've got to do. Maybe give me your thoughts on kind of 3 or 4 things that people thought were going to happen. Real things, blockchain and NFT and real estate.
Absolutely. So I'll start probably with crypto and then real estate trends and then the intersection of both. But in the beginning of the year, we still didn't expect this crypto winter to be over. So it was unbelievable to go through this bull market for a whole year and few new trends to evolve. So that was unexpected. It was unexpected how a creative economy will be also powered by the crypto protocols. And it was amazing. A number of big, large companies, institutional players got into the space. Corporations like Adidas and Nike. Evolvement of new blockchains, Ethereum-like, but proof of stake protocols. Also, I didn't expect some of the protocols like Solana, Algorand, Luna to get to the adoption so quickly. That's on the crypto side. On the real estate side, I think even though the rates were expected to be as low as it happened this year, but nobody was expecting this overheated market, that people will be moving at this pace that it happened this year. That was pretty unexpected, on my opinion. The big prop tech news was Zillow shutting down the iBuying operations. That was firing people. So that was pretty interesting on my opinion, and what I'm seeing, the sphere of our clients, what they're sharing with us, agents, broker owners. It was amazing to have Inman in person finally, and a number of events like NAR annual, a number of events here in Miami. So that was a good highlight to finally meet peers in person.
Yeah. So 2021 was a good year for everyone in real estate for the most part, besides the Zillow employees that you mentioned. But what do you think about 2022? We're right around the corner from the new year. The market looks robust. It looks really, really strong. Supply and inventory are still at a high premium. So we know that from a real estate perspective, we think we're going to have a really good, strong year. Rates have stayed very competitive. People are out there leveraging crypto assets to buy homes. What do you think? What do you see the big, for lack of a better term, what do you see 2022 trends? What's the big one? I know you talked about it a little bit. The metaverse, I love it when we talk metaverse. I'm a big sneaker guy. When Nike and Adidas get into the metaverse, I thought that was really interesting, and it seems like everyone's talking about it. I don't know if it's because of the Facebook name change or if people are just starting to really kind of get their brain wrapped around it. But what do you see in 2022?
Well, maybe before we get to 2022, let's cover the trends in the intersection of crypto and real estate.
Okay, let's do that.
I mentioned a couple of items, what we're seeing in crypto and what we're seeing in real estate. But now what's happening in the intersection? And I think that what is happening in the intersection of those two industries will be probably one of the biggest trends for both industries in 2022. So here are the 4 things that I'm noticing. The first thing is that agents, realtors are getting into crypto faster than other professions.
Yeah.
When I was at Inman at the panel, there were still about 20% raised hands when I asked, do you own a crypto? So that was relatively low. But when I was in Miami at a real estate conference, 80%, maybe even 90% of agents raised their hand that they already own crypto. Right. At NAR annual in San Diego, they were about 60%. So I'm just seeing that agents are getting into the crypto space faster than other professions because they're nimble, they're entrepreneurial, they like to do stuff on the go, and the crypto industry now is mature in terms of crypto experience, user experience, so it's much easier to get involved. That's the first trend that I'm seeing in the crypto and real estate space. The other big trend is the crypto certified agent. We've launched this course a couple years ago, more just to provide education. We never thought that it would evolve into this movement where agents would get this course, they would get the crypto certified agent badge after they pass the exam. And I'm just seeing that on their profiles on social media and stories, they're all sharing that. And they also share what they get as benefit after they share that they are certified agent. And very often they get referrals from each other. Very often they get crypto buyers or crypto sellers that are willing to utilize crypto as a method of payment. So I'm just seeing that this new generation of agents is willing to learn technology, is willing to show that they are aware of this technology, and they're willing to educate their buyer or seller on crypto. So that's the second one. The third one is NFT. NFT a property, which at Propy we did for the first time in history. And it also happened because of the agents' demand, because of the consumer demand, because we actually didn't plan to do that. In fact, 2 years ago, right before the crypto winter, I mentioned in a couple of interviews that peer-to-peer transaction of real estate is not possible in the next 10, 20 years. I didn't believe that you can transfer ownership from one wallet to another wallet that easy. But then when 2021 started, there was a new hype of NFTs in art and music initiated, and suddenly a number of agents, VCs, consumers reached out to us asking, can you guys do an NFT in real estate? And this kind of demand and interest motivated our team to come together and make it accomplish and just jump on this venture and execute. So I'd love to thank our community and the team on realizing that there is an opportunity and most importantly, for supporting and execute on it. And I think the greatest success story of this NFT property process was this guy who actually bought the NFT. Adam, are you aware of this?
I know. I do know the story, but maybe the viewers haven't heard the story.
Yeah, so imagine there is a millennial who lives in San Francisco. He would love to have a real estate asset, but just thinking about the hectic process of going through the closing made him to never get to this decision to buy a property. Now he sees tweets that there's potentially a property to be NFT'd and being sold in an auction. And he got interested in this easy process. So there were 40 bidders competing for this real estate NFT. He became the owner, and he became the owner within minutes. And that's, I think, this experience of becoming a homeowner within minutes without headache. That's the dream we were all having in the prop tech space, and we finally achieved it. So that's, I think, a big success story for me personally, how one person invested in real estate so easily and securely.
That was the first home he'd ever purchased, correct?
Yes, that's the first property he purchased. I think he's 27-year-old guy.
Yeah, consumer habits and the way we buy, consume things is changing at such a rapid pace compared to any time in any part of civilization in terms of the peer-to-peer buying sight unseen, in terms of not feeling, touching things. It really is transforming just the way we live. It's unbelievable.
And he was ready to pay premium. He put in his Ethereum wallet twice as much as he paid. It was 30% over the evaluation price. I don't have the assumption that all real estate assets that will NFT will have a premium, because real estate crypto investors also want to make money on real estate.
Sure.
But for sure, people are ready to pay for the easiness of the transaction.
Yeah, I think people underestimate the way that traditional real estate and crypto earnings kind of go hand in hand. One is very stable, one is very nuanced. And so I think there is kind of a romance between the two that a lot of crypto people have done well with crypto like to still invest in traditional real estate. It's not an either or kind of thing. There's a yin and yang to it. So we've covered three. What was your fourth big intersection of crypto and real estate in 2021?
So the fourth one, you already mentioned about it. It's definitely the metaverse. We're going to see a massive increase next year in the number of virtual property transactions. As more and more people are buying, selling, trading digital assets, they will continue to buy also digital land. And these virtual worlds are Decentraland, Super World, Sandbox, and it's basically a virtual land. More companies will evolve, and even though agents right now are thinking that it's a gimmick, it's just a game, I think there is a way to actually marry the real world asset to the experience of investing in digital land. So even if you're not a believer in the metaverse, I would recommend just to test it out and buy a property in the digital world, because it's not about the NFT of a land, but also it's a metaverse of experience where you can sell your wall for advertisement. You can get DJs to play in your house or in a venue, and they pay rent and so on. And I think metaverses eventually will evolve in the new generation of social media, where instead of meeting on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn for different purposes, you would meet in a metaverse A or B or C, depending on what kind of experience and people you're looking for.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just the beginning. We are just barely touching the surface of the metaverse, and I think people who go into it with an open mind will do really well. And then I think some people who have that scarcity mindset, it doesn't apply to me, they will miss it, because it's coming quicker than people think. This generation below us, teenage boys, as you know, if they spend a lot of time in their own versions of metaverse, whether they're watching Travis Scott and Kanye West on a Fortnite concert, or the same thing, there's 30, 40, 50-year-old people playing, Minecraft and building worlds within Minecraft, not even because it's the best pixel, the technology, it's just because they crave that virtual ability to kind of have fellowship. So
yeah, and that's a good point, that the current young generation is growing up in the metaverse. They're growing up in these games. The only difference is that whatever they earn while playing, they cannot get these assets off the platform and sell it. So they normally exchange it. And I'm saying it with my daughter. She's sometimes getting some awards, rewards, and then she's giving it to her friend, or she's buying for $5 some asset, and then gives it to her friend, which is thrilled about that. Now, metaverse, crypto-enabled metaverse is the same story, but those assets are interoperable. So you can get this asset and get it into your MetaMask wallet or another metaverse. And so that's the whole difference. But now, as this new generation has the mindset of dealing, buying things in games, in virtual world, the same way they will buy real estate. So if real estate is in your wallet and it's easy to buy and sell, most likely, instead of 5 million transactions a year in the United States, we will see 50 million transactions in the United States. Because when you want to move from Miami to San Francisco back in 20 years, when the city will be recovered, hopefully, then you will just do it just like you rent a house. It's easy. And so you're not afraid to make this big move, acquire a property and move in.
yeah, it's exciting. You know, you spent enough on skins and upgrades in games to know that this generation is they've just socialized. Most of them have socialized through, you know, these platforms, and where you and I might have had sleepovers and talked on the telephone. It's just the way they know to congregate, and they're very comfortable with it, and they're very comfortable spending money within digital worlds.
Oh yeah.
So let's turn it around a little bit. Let's talk 2022. There's a lot to talk about. I mean, we can go high level. What are you the most excited about in 2022? We'll talk blockchain. We have a whole pipeline of NFT of homes that we're going to launch in 2022. We're doing some things with some pretty high level brokerages that are pretty exciting. What do you want to talk about in terms of crypto technology, blockchain, or even just real estate for 2022? What do you want to highlight?
I would definitely highlight this new wave of metaverse trend, because it just started and many people still didn't even notice that whole trend. It's virtual real estate. So this is why it's very much related to the agents here who are listening to us, and broker owners and the community. I've recently made a tweet on Twitter asking if anyone would like to become an agent in a metaverse. And so many people were excited to become an agent in a metaverse. And they were asking a question: how do I get licensed? And the true story is that you don't have to be licensed. You just have to prove that you're doing work or you're having fun in crypto space. And every single step that you're doing in the crypto space is recorded there on blockchain immutably. So most likely the future license of agents will be this hashtag that is verifiable on Etherscan, that you're active there. Maybe you own land in Decentraland or Superworld. Maybe you did the first transaction in crypto on Propy, or even in dollars on Propy, because every single transaction on Propy we record on the blockchain, and you can actually have the blockchain address immediately on every single transaction on Propy. So the metaverse trend will become big in the next year. And you can see that from the market, from articles and so on. The next one, which is still not obvious, but I think it will start to unwrap next year, is the real estate NFTs. Because while we did the first one in the summer and now we're preparing 2-3 more, we still needed some time to build the NFT marketplace, to polish all the documents, how to NFT a property, how to make it ready, how to develop royalty fees for agents, so everyone in the chain gets rewards from future secondary sales. But once consumers will start realizing how easy it is to buy properties as NFTs, I think it may turn into a big movement. And maybe we'll have competitors, so maybe it won't be only Propy helping NFTs, but other companies. But it could turn, and I would love to have as many properties NFT as possible, because it will provide more liquidity and affordability to the real estate asset, because it will be cheaper to transfer. So I'm pretty excited about this one. And what else? And the other trend, specifically in the intersection of real estate and crypto, is settlement on smart contracts, which means closing deals, escrow and title services entirely on blockchain. Because blockchain technology can provide a huge impact on the traditional way we do title and escrow. The benefits of the blockchain is obvious. It's immutable record. And this is why blockchain can make wire fraud a thing of the past and allow us to complete transactions within minutes, because it's an automated settlement. But most importantly for the consumer, I think it's not the speed, but the security, that we will never see a couple like in California a couple of years ago. They had $700,000 in savings, and they sent all the money they had to a fraudulent bank account, and they never saw their money. Title insurance doesn't cover that. Insurance brokerage doesn't cover that. They had to fight through to get their money back. And as far as I know, they were not able to do it. So that's where closing deals in a secure blockchain-enabled environment can become, in our industry, in the real estate industry, can become the next trend.
Yeah, in blockchain, utilizing really smart contracts, which, a lot of realtors think they use smart contracts, but the utilization of real smart contracts in real time, reduction in commission weights, reduction in time to close, and reduction in, as you mentioned, fraudulent wire, among other things. It really cleans up the process that really is somewhat antiquated when you look at the big picture of how we transact on a daily basis. Real estate in and of itself is still a bit antiquated on how cumbersome we make the process. And as well as I do, most realtors we talk to, it's not, if smart contracts and blockchain will come into the business, but really kind of when. And we're trying to spearhead that. So what else are you excited about for 2022? I know we talked 3 things there. I know you could go for a long time on the things you're excited about, so let me be more specific. Do you want to talk about some of the ways that blockchain is changing in 2022 versus proof of stake versus proof of work? That seems to be a hot topic that people ask about a lot. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about trends within real estate in a traditional sense? Because as you know, we do a tremendous amount of business traditionally through offer management platforms. So what do you want to cover next?
Well, on the crypto side, I'm just hoping we won't hit any crypto winter anytime soon, even though it's inevitable. We'll have crypto winters, and we just have to go through that as we did as a company through 2018 and 19 and 20, end of 18. And it was pretty rough, but when you know the fundamentals, when you read those white papers or you're going through Propy webinars and learn about the fundamentals, I think you are incentivized enough to stay because you understand about the impact, how these protocols allows for enforced honesty and enforced transparency in each transaction. So if it happens in 2022, the crypto winter, just stay there, hodl, as we say. The other part that you just mentioned, Adam, the Ethereum 2.0, many of our friends and community members are asking if we would transition to a new blockchain. And we're pretty open to make a transition to a new blockchain, but it takes resources, engineering time to build again the infrastructure. And thus, even though we're open, we want to wait for Ethereum 2.0. If it doesn't happen again next year, because this promise has been there forever, if it doesn't happen again, we probably would review other blockchains such as Algorand, Polkadot, Solana, Luna, XRP Ledger, and others. And I hope, I'm sure there are so many others that I just didn't recall. It doesn't mean that they're worse. So we're pretty open. What's important for us is the blockchain to have smart contract capabilities, because the entire transaction platform that we have built is based on smart contracts. And our ultimate goal is to achieve the settlement in the end, the ownership of home to be recorded on the blockchain and on the county after a certain set of terms are executed, such as purchase agreement signed, it's viewed by the smart contract. Payment is done, whether it's wire or crypto, again, this data is being fed to the smart contract. Inspections reports are uploaded and approved, again, this is being fed on smart contracts. I just wanted to also give this information for new folks here to understand why it's so important for us to go through the entire transaction, and in the end, what kind of role blockchain plays in.
So the interesting thing about this role, and you know this better than I do, is you meet with some people who are very, very well versed in crypto and blockchain NFT, and then you meet with some realtors who just don't know what it is, but they're super successful at real estate. So that is an interesting nuance to this role, as we meet with people who have just extremely in-depth knowledge of crypto and NFT and everything surrounding that. Then we have relatively newer people who are intellectually curious, want to get into that side of the business. So if you had a real estate agent who was maybe relatively new to crypto and NFTs and blockchain, what were the three things that you would recommend for them to do to kind of get their crypto knowledge or their NFT blockchain knowledge kind of up and running?
I think if the realtor is not in crypto yet, I think it's important just to play with the crypto and buy $100 or $10 of crypto. And it's very easy. The best way to start is Coinbase, because if you lose the password, the private key to your $100 in Bitcoin, then it's okay. They can restore your account, your password. You can even buy a smaller amount of Venmo, Cash App, and other not crypto apps. So that's the first step to accomplish. And then once you're in, it's a rabbit hole. And I promise you'll find the resources and people and projects that you'd be very excited to dive in. And of course, we offer this crypto certified course, which consists of 6 major sessions. What is a crypto and how to get your first crypto? What is a wallet and exchange and how to get more different cryptos? What is blockchain, how it works in simple words? And what is a smart contract? What is tokenization in real estate? What are the major blockchain applications in the real estate industry? And then on top of those 6 basic sessions, we also have 7th session that we just added about NFT in real estate, a step-by-step workshop, how to NFT a real estate asset, how to talk to your seller so that they'd agree to NFT their property. And then in January, we will be adding a new session on metaverses, and we'll be launching an agent certified metaverse license, which I just talked a little bit earlier. So that's a great course. And also after the course, you are a part of the crypto certified agent community, and you can share your knowledge, where to invest, how to invest, sharing your referrals, and so on.
Excellent. Speaking of the metaverse, do you have a thought or a feeling of which one of those 3 kind of main players will be the dominant? It reminds me a little bit of, you might be too young for this, but there was a time when you go to the Blockbuster way back in the day, they'd have VHS, Betamax, and Laserdisc, and eventually we know VHS won. Do you have a feel for which one of those three big metaverse kind of platforms will be the dominant one, or is it still too early?
I want to ask you a question. Which social media platform you think the winner? Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter?
Who's winning right now or long term?
Who is winning right now and long term, and like 2-3 years ago, who you think was a winner? Was it like the winner before that, the winner now, and the winner long term? Is it just a one player?
You know, I think your point is valid. There's a lot of players. I could think of some companies who didn't do it well, who didn't evolve, and you know this better than I do. Just because you're first to the space, like a good example is MySpace. Just because you're first doesn't mean you'll last. You have to evolve as customer needs evolve and as technology changes. I think you're answering your question in a very strategic way, as you're saying there may not be just one. There may be one metaverse is just for maybe people who are younger wanting to do more social. One metaverse might be for people looking to do more studious things or fellowship in a more conservative manner. One might be just for people who want to go on there and watch sporting events and listen to the concerts. I don't know. It is such a small percentage of what it's going to really look like. I think we're guessing a little bit. Yeah,
I agree with you. It's like Twitter is for those who like to write but not show the pictures. Instagram is all about visuals. Facebook now is turning into older generation network than the younger. TikTok is only for youngsters. And I think the same will happen with Metaverse. But I will be doing a webinar on Propy, and a part of the crypto certified class, especially in the class, I will go through each of those biggest players and will show the pros and cons on each metaverse, and also we'll be announcing something related to metaverse next year on Propy. So please stay tuned. Adam will have more news about metaverses.
You know me, I like that part of the conversation, so I'll be there with you. Anything you want to end with? I know we ran a little bit long. Anything you want to end with? Any last 2021 nuggets you want to give to the Propy faithful?
Absolutely. Well, I'd love to thank our community and our clients, our users for being there at Propy. The biggest gift you gave us is the feedback on every single transaction that you did on Propy. The feedback and seeing the user experience was the best gift for our team, so that we can further improve and get to our mission accomplished, which is an enjoyable home buying process for consumers and for agents. So I just would love to thank everyone because you are an innovator. You're together with us in the tribe of doers, innovators, cutting edge experts. Thank you, and keep diving into crypto. 2022 expected to be very bright for those in crypto.
I agree. Well, thank you, Natalia. Hope you guys have a wonderful new year, and we will talk to you next week.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.